Coming up in this week's video, I'm going to quickly talk to you about the reasons why I chose not to Polyrol the roof again this time. I think they all have a very similar problem, and that is this gap here. I've heard a lot of good stuff about this online. Today is the day that I start painting the pop top. And the first thing to fix is something that's been doing my head in for about 2 years now. Since installing these red bits on the van, it's become a bit of a love-hate relationship for me. Right then, I can't put it off any longer. It's time to wrap the bonnet. The van is packed, but not with camping stuff, with tools. It's time to do some DIY on the van and eventually address my pop top. Lovely. Now I can't do the pop top on the driveway. So I'm off to a friend's lockup and he doesn't want the internet to know where it is, obviously. I didn't think about that when I were recording this intro, so I've had to do this quality bit of editing to fill the gap. Now, back to me. Just let me use his lockup so I can do this DIY video for you guys. So we've officially entered temporary traffic light season, March and April. Eventually I was released from my temporary road prison and was on my way again. And it wasn't long before I arrived at my friend's lockup to then come across another potential problem. Will the van even fit in? So what I'd normally do in the edit in these sort of situations is fast forward it. But I want you all to feel the exact same anxiety that I was feeling trying to reverse the van inside. I'd also planned an entire video around the van fitting in this garage, and the next 48 hours was the only time that I had available without work and family commitments to get it done. The thumbnail should have been, "Will it fit?" with me with my head in my hands or something. So I've arrived and I fit just. So let's crack on with the first of many jobs in this week's video. I've got loads to do in this video, so let's make this quick. Remember kids, this is for entertainment purposes only. Do any of the jobs that I'm doing at your own risk. Know what I mean? Freaking piece of string. There's got to be a way of getting rid of that. No. Come on. Let's go. Way. No. Come on, string. You've got this. So amongst the many jobs in this video, I'm trying to restore my pop top after the Polyrol that I put on failed. We'll go into that in a bit more detail in a bit. I'd already removed my solar panels, degreased the roof and slightly sanded the surface the day before, so it was pretty much good to go with the primer today. All that was left to do was the final degreasing after the drive over today, and for this I used 99% isopropyl alcohol in a spray bottle with a clean microfiber cloth. Now I'm sure some of you watching may be thinking, what is this maniac doing? And you're probably right to think that. But it's my pop top and I'll do what I want with it. After the degrease, it was time to apply the primer. Now, I'm also pretty sure that any body shop folk watching will be getting that finger tingling sensation. The one where they feel compelled to type a comment about how I shouldn't be using a brush or how wrong the conditions are. And as I've mentioned in previous videos, calm yourself down, grab a beer and chill out. As with the Polyrol video, I'll wait for a while and update you as to how this is holding up. This is my last ditch attempt at sorting out my pop top without going down the professional body shop route. Something I'm totally prepared to do after I've explored all of the cheapest ways first. I am a Yorkshireman after all. And remember again, this video is for entertainment purposes only. And if you're not confident enough or are as silly as me, I would suggest probably taking yours to a professional. So that's the first coat of primer applied and it looks pretty gash, I'll be honest with you. So I think now we need to move on to the next job of the day. Nice. And the first thing to fix is something that's been doing my head in for about 2 years now. Speaking of annoyances, it hasn't gone unnoticed that during the edit, my toggle on my hoodie was clacking on my microphone. Trust me, it's bothering me more than it's bothering you. And that's this chrome strip on the back of my van. I've tried sticking it back on again 1,000 times. I've even put a dodgy screw in the end and it's not gone back on again. So I've got another one. Nice. I removed the now rusty screw I'd put in to stop it falling off and then removed the old chrome strip. I then had to address the lump that the screw had left. So I sanded that off, and then, so that the new chrome strip would go on and stay on this time, I sanded the rest of the handle too. And after that, I gave it a wipe down with 99% alcohol, and it was time to mount the new chrome strip. So that's one of at least 10 jobs that I've got to do on the van in this video, one of which is wrapping the bonnet at the front, but we'll get onto that in a bit. And if you like this kind of content, then please consider subscribing. I'll love you forever if you do. Now on to the next job, which is just down here. Now this one is quite an easy fix. I've got a hole in my side step. What normally goes there is either a blanking plate or a light. So I bought this light to go there. I don't have any electrics, but it looks better than a blanking plate. I do love an easy job. Anyway, since installing these red bits on the van, it's become a bit of a love-hate relationship for me. One day I love them, the next day I hate them. But I've been hating them more often than not. And not only that, all my Leeds United friends have said to me, I can't have red on the van because that means Manchester United. So let's get rid of them. So I popped off the red strips with a trim tool, because last time, when I used a knife to do it, the internet kicked off. Once they were off, it was time to move to my wrapping station, using the same wrap that I'm using to wrap my bonnet with later on in the video. A kind of practice run for the main event. After that was done, it was a simple case of popping them back into place. And eagle-eyed viewers will have also noticed that I've removed the badge. This is because I also want to make this black again, to keep that stealth black look on the van. So that's another job successfully done on the van, and don't worry, Manchester United supporters, it's not because of Leeds United or anything like that. It's because I saw a picture of my van not so long ago where it was all black and stealth like this, and I went, ooh, that looks really nice. So yeah, I've gone back to black rather than red. Let me know in the comment section which one you prefer. Do you prefer the red, or do you prefer the all stealth black? On to the next job. The next job was a BAFTA film. All I wanted to do was take off the hideous carpeted cover from the back of the driver's seat and replace it with an OEM cover. This proved to be a challenge, as since installing my lithium battery, it takes up more space than my original AGM battery. So after removing the driver's seat, I had to do some jiggery-pokery to move everything forward a bit, so the new cover would fit properly. This took me way longer than I'd anticipated. Right then, that's another job done. So onto a fix that I think, or should I say hope, will work. Let's go to the other side of the van. So I'm guessing quite a lot of you watching now have got a fixed awning on your van. Now, whether it's the van style one that I've got for mine, or whether it's a two-layer one or a Fiamma one, I think they all have a very similar problem, and that is this gap here. Now, it doesn't let in a lot of rain unless it's properly throwing it down, but when it does, you notice this gap, and I think I've got a fix for it. So I've bought some rubber strip to go in that gap. Now, it's not just rubber strip from Fiamma or Thule that cost about 120 quid for basically a rubber strip. It's the stuff that I've put in my door here to make it sound like a golf. So when it closes, it sounds better than it did, less hollow. It's still a door on a van, still not going to sound great. However, adding this rubber strip here, self-adhesive backing, is like a hollow thing that adds to the cushioning for when the door shuts. Then I had an idea and I thought, this is the perfect size to go in that gap. It can stick against the awning, it's a bit cushiony, so if the awning flexes, it's not stopping it, and then it'll just send the rain into the channel and then off the van. I know, genius. So let's get it installed now. Nice. So I've had a coffee, I've had some lunch, and I'm ready to do the final job of today before I tidy up and camp in the van in a garage. Obviously, I can't drive anywhere with that roof looking like it is, and it means I can get up in the morning and crack on with the roof. So the last job of the day is to ceramic coat my bumpers. I've heard a lot of good stuff about this online. I've watched loads of YouTubes with people using it, hashtag not sponsored. So yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do now. Nice. And I'll fast forward this bit for you, otherwise it will be super dull to watch. This stuff coats the bumper with a ceramic coating and it's supposed to last up to 500 washes, which for some of you van owners out there will be about a week. I did clean and degrease the bumper at home the day before, and then I gave it another wipe down with isopropyl alcohol before applying. It stinks and it gets everywhere, so make sure you wear the provided gloves it comes with. I will of course keep you updated in a future video as to how this is holding up. After finishing the bumper, I decided to call it a day, clean up my mess as I'm a very messy worker, and retire to the van to have a well-earned rest. Right then, that's day one done, and tomorrow is hopefully when the magic happens. I paint the pop top and I try to wrap my bonnet. If it all goes wrong, you'll be here to witness it. But I think for now, I'm going to bid you farewell, and I shall see you in the morning. Good night. The next day started with a coffee, putting the bed away, and spending far too much time watching and laughing at TikToks. And eventually, I emerged from my van to start cracking on with day two. Good morning. Yes, I had an awesome sleep in a garage last night, you know, standard, whatever. Anyway, today is the day that I start painting the pop top. Let's just hope it turns out okay. So I began painting the roof, and that's about as exciting as it gets really. It was just a case of making sure I wasn't applying it too thick or too thin, making sure it was covered properly, and every now and then flattening it out with my flattening brush. Yes, there's such a thing as a flattening brush. This helps get as many brush or roller marks out, helping the paint lay as flat as possible when drying. Well, that was an interesting 45 minutes, trying to get that on and flattened off and everything like that. But I think it's been worth it. I genuinely do. It looks infinitely better than what it did before I started. The pop top I thought was utterly ruined. I thought it was either take it to a paint shop pro and have it sprayed, or you know, have it wrapped or whatever. And I've not even used a quarter of the tin on one full side of the pop top yet. So I'll put a link in the description below to the primer and the paints from the same company that I've used. And again, do this at your own risk. This isn't a tutorial. This is just me showing you what I'm doing to my van. Right, let's crack on with the next side after a cuppa. Lovely. And it wasn't long before the entire roof was painted. It's not perfect, but it's a far cry from what it did look like before. I'd say a good 80% better. It's got its imperfections, but it's my imperfect pop top that's now black again. Yes. So with that done, I thought I'd reward myself by grabbing a butty from the shop. Stare at my work while I'm eating it, and then crack on with the next thing. Nice. So I finished my butty, I'm a happy chappy, and before we get on to wrapping the bonnet, and probably badly, I'm going to quickly talk to you about the reasons why I chose not to Polyrol the roof again this time. So the first coat of Polyrol looked absolutely fantastic when I put it on. It literally looked like I'd taken it to a body shop, they'd resprayed it, lacquered it, cut and polished it. It looked fantastic. But it didn't take long before it were back to how it was before again, roughly around 6 months. So I grabbed my Polyrol, and recoated my roof with the Polyrol again after 6 months. Now it came up all right, but it didn't last long again, probably half as long, maybe around 3 months, and then white marks started to appear on the roof. Now I'm not quite sure why that is, whether it was the Polyrol's fault or whether it's just because the roof had faded so much. And then the last time I looked at the roof, I thought, yep, let's Polyrol it again. It made no difference. It was literally just covering over what was there marks wise, so it wasn't bringing it all back to beautiful black again. So that brings me to the last couple of days where I've had to take my solar panels off, sand the roof down, fill it, prime it, paint it, and do what I should have done in the first place rather than the quick fix that is Polyrol. So would I advise that you do what I've just done to my pop top over the last couple of days? If you feel confident enough to do it, absolutely go for it. The key is all in the prep. You know, I spent 2 days prepping the roof before actually applying the paint. But my advice that goes out onto the internet would be, if you really want a shiny, new looking, spangly pop top, take it to a proper professional painter who will do a really good job, and then you can cut and polish it in the future and things like that. That's probably your best bet, but I'm a tight Yorkshireman, and this is one of the cheapest ways that I've found to do it outside of the realms of Polyrol. So would I advise that you Polyrol your roof? Absolutely not. I advise that you either get it professionally resprayed, or if you're confident enough, do what I've done over the last few days. So before we get on to the wrapping of the bonnet, I'm clearly delaying because I'm papping myself because I don't want it to go wrong. We've got a couple of other little jobs that need doing on a van. So let's do them now. The first job was to replace the surround in this nonsensical cubby. I have another future idea for this cubby hole, so if you haven't yet subscribed and don't want to miss out, then do that now. It's completely free and I'll love you forever if you do. Nice. There's no way of saying this differently, so here goes. My curtains have been going baggy over time. I know. So I relocated the popper things to get the curtains sitting better on the window frame. So that's a job I've been wanting to do for such a long time. I think just the process of opening and closing the curtains over the past 5 years has stretched this fabric. So all I've had to do is relocate these little popper buttons on both sides, and now it's stretched out perfectly. And now we have a seal and no light will leak in on a morning. Right then, I can't put it off any longer. It's time to wrap the bonnet. Whether this works or not, I have no idea, but you will be here for the process. First things first, let's get this deflector off. Give it a clean, throw some isopropyl alcohol on it just to get rid of all the grease and grime. And then see how this goes. I'm either driving off with a beautifully wrapped black matte bonnet, or it's going home like that again. And sorry if I don't film it perfectly, because I need to concentrate. Okay, see you back. I started by removing the bonnet guard, which ironically has actually damaged the bonnet, but we'll not get into that now. And I think if all goes well with the wrapping, I won't be putting it back on again. I then give the bonnet a good clean with a soap and water mix, and then a final wipe down with isopropyl alcohol to get rid of the rest of the grease and dirt. Another thing to mention is that the bonnet isn't perfect. It's got repairs on it, not by me, where the previous owner has used the touch-up pen. So if you see what look like bubbles after the wrapping is done, then it's not my fault. It's the previous owner's fault. In hindsight, I should have sanded them off and made them smooth. I'd already roughly cut the vinyl to size and used magnets to hold it in place while pulling off the backing sheet. It was at this moment I thought to myself, who needs a professional to do this kind of thing? All of the internet advice was to wrap it in temperatures of over 20 degrees and indoor, and here I was absolutely bossing it in temperatures of 10 degrees thinking I don't need no professional. And then it was at this moment I realised that all of the internet advice, believe it or not, was correct. I pulled the vinyl and it cracked, in a place that I could do nothing about. Game over. My advice, get a professional to do it. It'll save you a world of pain and money. Utterly buggered it. Do you know what? I think some jobs are best left for the professionals. I can't wrap. It took me 5 goes just to do the sun strip on the front of the van, so why I thought I would be able to wrap the entire bonnet, I do not know. So after the disappointment of me not being able to wrap my bonnet... Wait. There have been a few developments since making this video. I've now booked in with a professional to get my bonnet wrapped once and for all, rather than trying to do it myself again. So if you subscribe to the channel, you'll get to see what it looks like in future videos coming up. Now, I'm sure you're all wondering whether I put my solar panels back on the roof. The answer is yes, but I didn't fit the flexible panels back as they were properly gash. They were supposed to be 100 watt each, and at first they were both producing about 170 watts in direct sunlight. But after a few years, at best, I was getting about 120 watts, even after cleaning them and in direct sun. So instead, I decided to install this 150 watt EcoFlow panel, a panel that I've had in the garage for about 3 years. I do have another one spare in the garage, so maybe one day I'll install that one too. But for now, just one will do. Once installed with a healthy amount of Sikaflex and screws, I mounted this rubber strip designed for windowsills to deflect the rain off the walls. It also works perfectly for what I need, and it'll deflect the wind over the panel when driving. I then installed this sunglasses holder, something I'd planned to do at the unit last week, but it hadn't arrived in time. And now, back to me at the unit. I've pulled my van out into the sunshine in the vain hope that it will help dry the paint a little bit faster. Now, it's not ideal. I probably wouldn't have chosen to do that in any other circumstance, but I'll have been here for a best part of 48 hours, in fact, by the time I finish this, and I've got to get work done, like my actual job, not just making YouTube videos for you guys. So although I'm probably making mistake 101 by driving the van out into the sunshine to cure the paint, this is what I'm doing. Don't copy me, kids. Just watch me for entertainment. Right, I've done all the jobs on the van, so there's no more to do, so there's no point you keeping watching. Right, see you, bye.